Good morning. I want you to sit with a thought for a moment. Each day, without fail, the sun rises. It doesn't seek validation. It doesn't request approval. It simply appears right on schedule. Regardless of yesterday's chaos or the night's darkness, it shows up. So let me ask you, when you get up in the morning, do you show up for your life like that sun? Because how you begin your day, how you rise, echoes throughout everything else you do. Let's unpack this. There's a reason why some people seem to flow through their day with clarity, purpose, and power, while others feel like they're scrambling the moment their eyes open. It's not about being lucky, it's not about being wealthy, it's not even about raw talent, it's about having purpose. That's the separator. The ones who thrive, who lead, who create momentum in life, they don't wake up simply because an alarm told them to. They rise because something deep within pulls them up. They aren't driven by routine, they're driven by mission. It's a fire inside, louder than any ringtone that refuses to let them stay in bed. You know what pressure feels like? We've all been there. That heavy feeling pressing down before the day even starts. That unfinished checklist from yesterday, dragging its way into today. That habit of checking your phone before you check in with your soul. When your morning starts with pressure, you've already given up the driver's seat. You're just reacting. You're surviving, not leading. Here's what you need to understand. Pressure is something the world places on you, but purpose that comes from within. Purpose doesn't scream it, whispers, but it never relents. It's steady. It doesn't let you quit, doesn't let you settle, doesn't let you disappear into comfort. And if you're brave enough to tune into that whisper, really tune in, it will transform everything about how you live. Think about Oprah Winfrey, one of the most respected, accomplished figures walking the planet. She doesn't let the noise dictate how her day begins. She doesn't reach for distraction. She reaches for peace. She begins in silence. She plants herself in calm so she can carry calm into whatever chaos comes next. That's not coincidence. That's choice. Because peace is not weakness. It's a force. Now let's bring this closer. Imagine a single mother waking before the sun. Not because it's easy, not because she had a full night's rest, but because she has responsibilities, little mouths to feed, big dreams to chase. That woman isn't getting up for a paycheck. She's rising for purpose. No title, no spotlight, no luxury, but something stronger. She knows her why, and that why pulls her through doubt, through fatigue, through every difficult morning. That's the power I'm talking about. You see, when purpose wakes you, you don't need motivation. Motivation fades. Purpose does not. When the snooze button tempts you, purpose pulls the covers back. When your limbs say, stay, purpose tells you, get up, we're needed, because direction matters. Without direction, you'll waste your energy chasing what was never meant for you. That's what pressure does. It tricks you into thinking activity equals progress. It says if you're busy, you're winning, but that's a lie. Busyness doesn't mean you're moving forward without a compass. You might be sprinting in the wrong direction. Purpose is that compass. It tells you what to commit to and what to walk away from. When you're aligned with purpose, people notice. You carry yourself differently. You speak with more clarity. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces you've outgrown. You stop measuring your journey against someone else's timeline because you finally realize you're not here to live their life. You're here to own yours. You have a unique assignment, and your only job is to answer it. Here's the hard truth. Most people aren't actually lost. They've just lost their why. The passion is there, the talent is there. But over time, they let pressure bury their purpose. They let outside voices drown out their inner truth, and now they're living on autopilot, numb, disconnected, drifting. But autopilot won't take you to greatness. Purpose will. So ask yourself, what is calling me today? Not someday, not when life calms down, not after you've accomplished X, Y, or Z. I mean today. Because today is the only place your power exists. And if you don't make the decision to own it the moment you wake, the world will decide for you. And let me tell you, this world, it's loud, it's demanding, it will hand you someone else's script if you're not careful. Don't take it. Instead, dare to ask the deeper questions. What stirs my heart? What ignites my spirit? Who do I want to impact? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These aren't questions meant to paralyze you. They're keys. Keys that open the door back to your true self. Purpose isn't limited to a career title or a business card. It's about the way you show up to life. It's about owning the truth that your existence is not random and your time here is not disposable. When you wake up carrying that, knowing something shifts. Your pace changes, your eyes open wider. You move with clarity. You rise with power. So tomorrow, when morning comes and that first sliver of light creeps in, don't just get up out of obligation. Rise with choice. Rise because you've got value to give. Rise because your story still has chapters waiting to be written. And when you do rise with purpose, have you ever watched a lion in its natural habitat study how it moves? It doesn't dart around aimlessly. It isn't chasing every creature that crosses its path. It moves with calm precision, strategic, purposeful. When it hunts, it's locked in. The lion knows its power is precious and it doesn't waste that power on distractions. This same truth applies to how high achievers guard their mornings. To them, the morning isn't just another part of the day, it's sacred ground. Think about it. What's the very first thing you let into your mind when you wake up? For most people, it's the buzz of a phone. Notifications, emails, social media, headlines, chaos. And suddenly, before you've even gotten out of bed, the world has already taken your peace. That's not how the most focus-driven people start their day. No, they protect that first hour like it's treasure, because it is. That first hour determines the energy, direction, and mindset for the entire day. They understand that once the noise gets in, it's hard to hear your own voice, so they create space before the world can get a grip on them. They don't start with demands, they start with alignment. Let's get specific. The first 60 minutes of your morning, that's yours. You owe no one anything in that window. So what are you doing with it? What's occupying that space? Because if you're not guarding it, the world will fill it for you with nonsense, with pressure, with urgency that isn't even yours. And once that happens, your clarity scatters. Your power is diluted before the day has even begun. Take someone like Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. He's up at 4:30 a.m., not to answer emails, not to scroll, but to invest in himself. He reads, he trains, he anchors his mind. He isn't reacting, he's preparing. That's what people who lead understand. The first hour is where victories are planted. This isn't about being rich or being famous. It's about respecting your time, your energy, your peace, because if you don't, someone else will use it for their agenda. That's how people get stuck in cycles of burnout, distraction, and disconnection. They let the day happen to them instead of happening through the day with control. So I'll ask you, what are you allowing into that first hour? What are you building on that mental real estate? Are you letting junk fill the space? Or are you investing it in ways that energize you, ground you, prepare you? Because here's the deal. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need to journal for an hour. You just need intention. You need to get honest with yourself. Are you using your morning to align with your values, or are you handing it over to the noise? Start by checking in with yourself before you check in with the world. Meditate, move your body, reflect, pray, read, write. Do what nourishes your soul, because if you don't do it, then you probably won't do it at all. And here's something powerful to remember. The mind and body are not separate forces. They move together. When you activate your body, you activate your mind. Ever notice how a short walk can lift your mood? That's not coincidence. That's biology. That's movement, releasing clarity, confidence, and focus. You're not just stretching muscles. You're shaking off fear. You're peeling away stagnation. You're reminding your mind that you are not stuck. You are in motion. Look at Michelle Obama. She didn't wake up early just to break a sweat. That workout was armor, it was clarity, it was strength, both physical and mental. Every push-up was a mental rehearsal for the challenges she would face. She wasn't training for fitness, she was preparing to lead. The most successful people understand movement is mindset. Moving your body is how you access your power. When you do, your brain releases chemicals that make you feel alive, focused, confident. It's like lighting a fire within. And that fire, you'll need it. Life will test you. Every day will offer a new set of pressures and problems. But when you've trained your mind and body to move together, you meet those tests with grit. You don't just react, you respond with power. This doesn't require a transformation overnight. Start simple. 10 minutes, a walk, a stretch. Breathe deeply, feel the ground under your feet. That's where clarity begins. Not in a planner, not in a to-do list. In your body, in your breath. Your body is your first tool, your first weapon. Treat it like the sacred instrument it is. Because if you ignore it, if you skip movement, if you stay stagnant, your mind will do the same. It will grow heavy. Clouded, it will start running on empty. But if you choose to move, you activate your inner warrior. You build momentum before the world can slow you down. That's what prepares you for battle. Not just a strong body, but a clear, confident mind. And listen, it's not about perfection. It's not about being the fittest person in the room. It's about claiming your power. Every stretch, every step, every bead of sweat, it's a declaration. I'm here. I'm ready. You don't wait for inspiration. You become the inspiration. So tomorrow morning, don't wait for ideal circumstances. Don't wait for motivation to show up. Make the decision. Move your body, feed your mind, and take control of how your day begins. Because if you win the first hour, you're halfway to winning the day. Now let's talk about that first hour again, not just as a time slot, but as a battlefield. Because make no mistake, the moment you wake up, the fight begins. The world throws everything at you before you've even brushed your teeth. Breaking news, social media chaos, fear-driven headlines, notifications that scream, "You're already late." If you're not vigilant, your peace is stolen before you even have a chance to claim it. That's why the most disciplined, intentional people treat their mornings like sacred space. They don't wake up and let the world tell them who they are. They wake up and remind themselves who they've decided to be. Before the noise comes, they anchor in truth. They read something that feeds their spirit. They write down their intentions. They meditate. They breathe. They don't just wake up, they rise. They rise with clarity. They rise with strategy. They rise with power. Because here's the secret, if you don't fill your mind with something good, the world will fill it with something random, and randomness rarely leads to greatness. Think of it this way. What you feed your mind first thing in the morning is what will grow in your life. You plant negativity, you harvest stress. You plant doubt, you reap hesitation. But if you start your day planting truth, resilience, vision, you grow strength, you grow direction. A Navy SEAL once said, "Win the first hour and you'll win the day." That's not just a motivational quote, that's tactical wisdom. Because that first hour fuels every thought, every word, every decision that follows. You have to decide what kind of mental meal you're going to serve yourself. Are you letting the world dump a plate of fear on your table? Or are you serving up courage, hope, focus? People who are truly successful, who build something meaningful, don't let life decide for them. They choose. They don't hope for clarity, they create it. They don't hope for peace, they cultivate it. It's not about being hyper-productive. It's about being grounded, rooted in something stronger than circumstance. It's about preparing your mind for what's ahead before the chaos begins. Because make no mistake, challenges are coming, distractions are coming, curveballs are coming, that's life. But when you've started the day with alignment, when you've fortified your mind, those disruptions don't shake you. They don't define your direction. Let me say this again, the most important real estate in your life is the space between when you wake up and when you let the world in. Guard it like a treasure. That time is when you choose your tone, you choose your frequency, you choose what gets your energy. Don't just stumble into your day, step into it with intention. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't need a 2-hour ritual or a wellness coach, you just need a decision. Maybe it's 5 minutes of stillness. Maybe it's reading one page of a book that expands your thinking. Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's movement. Maybe it's sitting in silence with a cup of coffee, reminding yourself, I own this moment. Because you do. That's the difference. People who drift through their mornings, they let the noise decide. People who dominate their mornings, they set the narrative before anything else can. They aren't reacting, they're leading. And that leadership begins within. So ask yourself, what does your first hour say about you? Does it say I'm overwhelmed? Or does it say I'm in control? Does it say I'm behind? Or does it say I'm ahead because I chose to show up on purpose? Let your first hour reflect your worth, your strength, your calling. Let it be a declaration. I'm not just alive, I'm awake, I'm present, I'm powerful. Because once you understand the sacred nature of the beginning, you start to treat every beginning with reverence, whether it's your day, your week, your year, your next chapter. And that mindset, that approach, it changes everything. Let's shift focus now, not just to how you begin your day, but how you show up in every moment that follows. Most people go through life believing that if they complete their checklist, they've done enough, they've succeeded. But the truth is, life isn't asking for your checklist, it's asking for your presence. You can do 1,000 things and still feel unfulfilled if you're not present in any of them. You can chase every task and still feel lost if you're not grounded in who you're being while you do them. That's why successful people don't just ask, what do I need to do today? They ask, who do I need to be today while I do it? There's a massive difference between action and intention, between productivity and presence. A to-do list is external, it keeps you busy. Intention is internals, it keeps you aligned. You want to change your life. Change the energy you bring into your day, don't just move through it, own it. Don't just check boxes. Decide how you want to show up in every box. Because here's the reality. You can do the same job as someone else, complete the same tasks, and still get radically different results. Why? Because one person is doing it out of pressure, the other is doing it from purpose. One is fueled by fear, trying not to fail. The other is fueled by fire, driven to make an impact. That's what intention is, bringing the best version of yourself into every moment, not just waiting to react. It's walking into a room not just with answers, but with energy. It's taking on a challenge not just to survive it, but to grow from it. It's making every action, no matter how routine, part of a bigger mission. That's why the most powerful people in the world don't just focus on what they're doing, they focus on how they're doing it and why they're doing it. And that intention, it creates a ripple. When you walk into a meeting with clarity, people feel it. When you show up to your workout with focus, your body responds. When you start your day grounded in truth, the world can't shake you. So let me ask you, what is the energy you're bringing to your day? Is it frantic, rushed, disconnected? Or is it calm, grounded, deliberate? Because every moment is an opportunity to shift. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a clear intention. That's how legendary people move. They don't have more hours than you. They're not waiting for motivation to strike. They decide over and over again that they're going to live with purpose no matter what the world throws at them. That's the mindset, that's the edge. Even when things go sideways, even when it gets hard, they keep showing up as the person they've chosen to be. Because at the end of the day, greatness isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about staying true to who you are when the pressure mounts, when the noise gets loud, when life gets messy. It's about choosing again and again to be excellent, even when it's inconvenient. That's what separates those who live on autopilot from those who live intentionally. So today, don't just move forward. Move forward on purpose. Don't just complete your list. Complete it with excellence. Don't just make it through the day. Conquer it. Because you weren't born to blend in with the noise. You were born to bring a sound of your own. And that sound, that's your intention made real. Now let's talk about the body. We've explored the mind, intention, and purpose, but none of it reaches its full power if you neglect the vessel that carries you through life. Your body is not separate from your mission. It's the engine. And when you move your body, you awaken your mind. You felt it before. The moment you lace up your shoes and take that first walk, the moment you start stretching, lifting, pushing through, something clicks. The fog clears. Your energy lifts. Not just because you're burning calories, but because you're burning away the mental clutter. You don't have to train like an athlete. You don't need perfect form or expensive gear. You need movement. You need momentum. Because when you move your body, you're telling the world, I'm here, I choose to engage, I choose to rise. Look at the strongest people you admire. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. They're not sitting still waiting for motivation to appear. They move, and through that movement, they build their momentum. Michelle Obama once said she started her mornings with exercise not to look good in a dress, but to put on her mental armor. That's it. That's the key. She wasn't just building muscle, she was building clarity, grit, readiness. Every drop of sweat was a declaration: I'm prepared, I'm awake, I'm alive. This isn't about vanity, this is about vitality. Because your mind and your body are in constant conversation. When your body is stagnant, your thoughts are sluggish, but when you move intentionally, even for just 10 minutes, you unlock energy, ideas, focus, power. You don't need perfection, you need commitment. Walk, stretch, breathe, dance, run, lift. Whatever it is, just move. Don't overthink it. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until you feel ready. You become ready by moving. And here's the truth. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to carry you across the finish line. That part is yours. When you move your body in the morning, you're not just exercising, you're training your willpower, you're anchoring yourself to discipline, and discipline not. Motivation is what builds a life of greatness. Every rep, every step, every breath, you're telling the day I'm in control. Not my mood, not my fear, not my fatigue, me. So the next time you feel stuck, overwhelmed, discouraged, don't collapse into your bed, don't reach for the scroll. Get up, stand up, move. Let your body shake off the weight of yesterday. Let your movement break through the mental fog. Let that blood flow become your battle cry. Because when your body moves, your spirit follows. And when your spirit rises, there is nothing you cannot do. Let's come back to where it all begins, the first hour of your day. That golden window, that sacred space, that battleground where your peace is either claimed or stolen. Because the truth is, the world wakes up loud, it wakes up messy. And if you let it, it'll flood into your life before you even take your first breath of clarity. One headline, one notification, one chaotic voice in your feed, and suddenly you're not grounded, you're reacting. You're already behind. You're chasing instead of choosing. But the people who live powerfully, they protect that first hour like treasure. They know that time is not just minutes on a clock, it's a foundation. You wouldn't build a skyscraper on shaky ground, so why build your life on a chaotic morning? That first hour is yours. Yours to feed your mind. Yours to center your heart. Yours to breathe, move, reflect, pray, read, walk, feel. That first hour is not for obligation, it's for alignment. Because when you feed your mind with strength before the world has a chance to feed it fear, you shift your entire energy. When you sit in stillness before the noise arrives, you build a wall around your peace. When you move with intention before the world pulls you in every direction, you become unshakable. And this doesn't have to be complex. You don't need a 27-step morning routine to reclaim your life. You just need a decision, a choice to pause before the pull, a choice to hear your own voice before you hear everyone else's, a choice to lead yourself before life leads you astray. You want a practical change? Start here. Wake up and hydrate your body before you scroll. Breathe deeply before you talk to anyone. Sit with your goals before the world throws you its agenda. Write something that anchors you. Move your body even just a little to remind yourself you're alive. These are simple things, but simple doesn't mean small. In fact, the simplest habits often carry the greatest weight because they compound, they build, and over time they become identity. And that's what you're really doing, building identity. You're deciding that your life is too important to leave on autopilot. You're deciding that you're worth protecting, that your focus, your energy, your peace, they matter. And when you protect your morning, you protect your power. So let me say this clearly. You don't owe anyone your first hour. Not your boss, not your inbox, not the chaos in your phone. You owe it to yourself. Because when you give yourself that hour, when you fuel your soul before you fuel the machine, you step into your day as the strongest version of who you are. So tomorrow, don't just wake up and go, wake up and own it. Be the architect of your morning. Be the guard of your peace. Be the kind of person who doesn't let the world decide their mood, their focus, or their future. Start your day on your terms, and the rest of your life will begin to rise in alignment with that. Now, let's talk about movement, not just as exercise, but as activation. Because your body is not a separate passenger in this journey, it's the vehicle. And when that vehicle is still too long, when it collects the dust of hesitation and the rust of apathy, your mind slows too. That fog you feel when you wake up and scroll, that heaviness in your thoughts, that dull ache in your motivation. That's not coincidence. That's your body begging to move. Because when you move, something primal and powerful awakens. You shift energy, you unlock clarity, you breathe life into parts of yourself that have gone dormant under the weight of routine and fatigue. It doesn't have to be extreme. No gym selfies, no impossible challenges. Just movement. Stretch your arms and feel your chest open. Step outside and feel the world meet your feet. Walk, breathe, reach, release. Because when you move your body, you signal to your mind, we are alive, we are capable, we are ready. You want to change your mindset, change your posture. You want to feel stronger. Start with a single step. There's something sacred in those first movements of the day. You're not just waking up your muscles, you're waking up your will. You're telling your system, we are not stuck. We are not victims. We are not waiting. We are rising. Remember, warriors don't train just for battle. They train to be ready for it, whether the battle comes or not. And life will test you. Not every day, but any day. So build your resilience before you need it. Move your body with reverence, because it's not just movement, it's momentum. And when you move in the morning, you give yourself a gift most people never open presents. You become present in your body, present in your mind, present in this life. And that's how you win your day, not by grinding, but by aligning. So don't wait to feel motivated. Let movement create the motivation. Don't wait for confidence. Let motion generate confidence. Because when you show your body that it matters, your body shows your mind what it's made of. And that's power. So when you rise in the morning, let it be with a mindset forged in clarity and intention. Don't drift into the day like a leaf in the wind. Step into it like a force. Step into it with grounded resolve. You've already been given the greatest gift, a new day. What you do with it, that's your responsibility. That's your chance to change your trajectory. And let me be clear, this isn't about perfection. It's not about getting every single thing right. It's about showing up consistently, consciously, intentionally. Because the people who are truly alive, who are truly thriving, they don't live on accident. They don't move aimlessly. They live like every breath matters. They speak like every word holds power. They walk like they know exactly who they are and where they're going. And when the chaos comes, they don't crumble, they don't fold, they don't panic, they respond. Why? Because they already anchored themselves. They've already prepared their mind, their body, their soul. They've already declared, this day is mine. That kind of preparation can't be faked. It's earned in the quiet, in the stillness, in those early morning hours when nobody's watching, but everything is being built. Because whether you see it or not, every choice you make in those first moments becomes a seed that will grow into your focus, your energy, your mindset. And just like any seed, what you plant is what you'll harvest. You sow chaos, you reap chaos. You sow clarity, you harvest strength. You sow distraction, you reap confusion. But you sow purpose, you will reap power. You want to transform your life, transform your morning. Stop negotiating with yourself about whether you'll show up today. Decide now. Lock it in. Build the habit of showing up before motivation even enters the conversation. Because success doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most disciplined. The ones who don't wait to feel like it. The ones who do it because they've made a promise to themselves. They won't break. Let your life become a reflection of that promise. Let the world see what happens when a human being stops making excuses and starts making moves. Let them see what it looks like when you take responsibility for your peace, your progress, and your power. This is what it means to live on purpose, to rise on purpose, to build a life from the inside out, starting before the world gets a chance to shape you. And hear me, this doesn't require perfection. It requires honesty. It requires consistency. It requires you to show up even when no one's clapping, even when you're tired, even when the results haven't come in yet. That's what separates the driven from the drifting, the focused from the distracted, the fulfilled from the frustrated. It's all in the way you begin. It's in the way you rise. So tomorrow when the light hits your window and your body is tempted to stay still, remember this. You are not here to sleepwalk through life. You are not here to merely survive the day. You are here to bring your light, your strength, your clarity, your fire, to rise in a way that shifts the atmosphere around you. Let the first sound you hear be your own voice reminding you, this day belongs to me. Not your phone, not the news, not someone else's expectations. You this moment, This breath, this opportunity, it's sacred. Don't give it away casually. Guard it like gold. Treat your peace like a fortress. Treat your focus like a currency. Treat your purpose like the only compass that matters. You've got dreams that need your discipline. You've got goals that require your intention. You've got people counting on the version of you that rises on fire, not on autopilot. And whether you realize it or not, you're setting an example for your family, for your team, for your community, for your future self. So when the world tries to distract you, when pressure tries to push you off course, when fatigue tries to whisper that you're not ready, stand your ground. You've trained for this. You've built this moment with your choices, your mornings, your mindset. Don't throw that away for a scroll or a snooze. Instead, take your place. Own your rhythm. Build your mornings like they matter, because they do. Feed your mind with truth before fear has a chance to speak. Move your body before doubt finds an opening. Speak your intention before the world hands you a script that isn't yours. Because the life you're building, the future you're chasing, it all begins here. This is where success is born. Not in the spotlight, not on stage, not when everyone's watching, but here in the quiet discipline of a purpose-filled morning. So rise, not just because you must, but because you choose to rise, like the sun, consistent, powerful, unwavering. Rise like the lion, focused, patient, dangerous in your silence. Rise like someone who knows the weight of their own presence. Rise like someone who understands that every single morning is a vote for the life they want to create. Because when you rise like that, the world can't help but respond.